Greetings and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined once again by fellow host Johnny Paulus and Kim Ponticello. We've had a wonderful Christmassy, holiday-y break.
Indeed.
And now we're back. So, Kim, let's start with you.
Yeah.
You never, to me, really went anywhere because, I mean, shit, you were streaming on Christmas.
Yes.
Which was awesome. I'm so glad you were, because so many of us out there are like, oh, I've got to go to the in-laws, or oh, I've got to go do this, XYZ. And I pop online and there she is. Just
I
streaming
figure
away.
like, I don't know. I figure there are people who don't celebrate, or, whether it's like just not your holiday, or some people are pretty bummed out by Christmas, So I went live to kind of like, I don't know, give people a place to go and get some smiles and get some laughs. And, I wasn't doing anything till nighttime. So like, why not,
It was a really fun day. I had you on, Lack came on. Like, it was a big, fun, streamy Christmas. And I'm just
I know.
Sitting downstairs, having some fun. I know that you went to see some, how should we put it, extended family? Extraneous family of people loosely associated with, but overall Christmas good, bad, indifferent?
It was good, it was I get a little bit overwhelmed with really with a lot going on. And so it was nice. We stopped into a place where there was a lot going on but stayed really briefly, which is good. And then the second place we went was my son's girlfriend's parents' house, because her mom was there alone because her father was working. And so it was just the four of us. We had dinner and then we played some board games, and then I came home and played video games.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky on Christmas. So I do my big like immediate family thing on Christmas Eve. I had everybody over, ate a bunch of food, whatever. And then Christmas Day, I usually just have to go to my in-laws. But man, we were in and out 1 hour.
Wow,
there,
that's nice.
Eat, and it's like, all right, well, I guess that's it. I'm going home now.
Wow.
And
that's great.
It was awesome. My youngest stepdaughter did not fare so well. She went to her biological dad's parents' house, so her grandparents from like that side, and they're like extremely Catholic. Okay. Extremely Catholic. And so she gets back and she goes, look at my Christmas present from my Catholic grandparents. And they got her for Christmas. She's 17. Okay. A book about dealing with anxiety as her Christmas present. And the card.
Here, we know you're fucked up. Merry Christmas.
And the card they give her.
Awful.
The card they give her just has like a cross and a tree on it. And in the card,
Did it say Jesus loves you?
it's no, even worse. It's like this handwritten, like in cursive, like prayer. Like just like,
That's weird, man.
the most Debbie Downer fucking present I've ever seen in my life.
That's what every teenage girl wants for Christmas. It's
We
exactly
laugh.
that.
I mean, it turned out great because when she showed it to us, like, I'm not the easiest guy to like lose it with laughter, but like certain things I find extremely fucking funny. And like, I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard when she showed me this thing. It was amazing. So the value from the gift came from my amusement for sure. So, Johnny, Christmas, big day in your house because you still have people of the age that probably really get into Christmas. How was it?
Yeah, no, it was good. Our Christmas tradition that we started during the pandemic is Christmas Eve. We do the biggest charcuterie spread you've ever fucking seen in your life. I'm talking like an entire table's worth of like lunch meats and aged salamis and all kinds of yummy cheeses and goat cheese and olives and like brioche crackers and garlic naan crackers and wheat thins and like you fucking name it, it's there. And we just pig the fuck out on Christmas Eve. And so that's what we did on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, we made a turkey, a whole ass turkey. We had brined it the day before and then took it out and did the herby butter under the skin thing and had a bomb ass turkey. So yeah, we ate good. The gift giving was a success. Everybody enjoyed their gifts. And my big gift, you're getting old and boring when your big gift is a new guitar case. Because Lord knows I fucking needed one. My guitar case was falling apart. So now the only thing that sucked is that, I sold guitars for like 20 years. So I know what a guitar box looks like. And I know that my wife did not buy me a guitar. So the moment I see the box, I'm like, it's a guitar case. There's definitely 1,000% there's a guitar case in that box.
So was it a perfect fitting guitar case?
Fit great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I know.
Guess who messaged your boy?
She told me.
She
told me. No, it worked out great. I'm happy with the case. But no, we had some good times. I have been kind of taking it easy on the stream just because at my work, that last end of the year push to try to get as much money into the system without having to carry it over into the next year, it gets really stressful, and then holidays are stressful and all that shit. So like I've been gaming, but I have not been streaming. I haven't had it in me, but I'm sure next week I'll be right back to it. But now I have been gaming and holidaying is what I've been up to.
Fantastic. So yeah, but besides my my amusing Catholic anecdote, my Christmas was basically exactly what I wanted it to be. I had the talk this year with everyone. Stop with the present thing. Just stop. Just buy the kids stuff. And it was so nice not having to deal with, I wonder how much money in gift cards they're going to give me this year so I can match it, so we can just exchange literally nothing, because the goal of the adult gift giving is just to break even. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's so weird too. I've never gotten into that. Yeah.
Hate it. So, like if I find something cool,
yeah.
I was talking about this, I think, on the last episode or a couple episodes ago. If I find something cool for somebody, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, I'm fucking buying it for them, because, the moment just strikes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But no, Christmas was great. I just had everybody over. My parents, my brother, his wife, their dog, who's awesome, all crashed my house, and we made a giant pot of cheese fondue.
Oh.
Had Amy's homemade bread to dip in it, which was fantastic. My parents brought one of the catering platters of Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets, and then we had,
fuck yeah, they did,
this obnoxiously gigantic ham. That was, I'm like, dude, Amy was worried like we wouldn't have enough food to feed the people coming to our house. I'm like, dude, you need to invite like 20 more people to eat this ham. This is out of control. So we had ham, homemade mac and cheese, pineapple dressing, some corn thing. It was like kind of like cornbread. I don't know, but not really. I don't know. I didn't eat any of it. It was kind of weirded me out. But that, green beans. So it was a proper, proper Festivus, so to speak, because this was on Christmas Eve. So yeah, holidays were great. So kind of, I think I alluded to this our last time recording. I got the greatest gift of all for Christmas, and I got laid off from my fucking job. So I didn't go into great detail about it, but I got a new job, and I start that on the 2nd, and it's a huge step forward, actually. So it was kind of turned into one of those weird things where looking back, it's like I got thrown off a sinking ship
right
into this company that's been doing great for a very long time. That's going to pay me great. And it's awesome. So in addition to that, I bought a new car because I lost my work vehicle from my current employer. So got a sweet new appropriately colored yellow Subaru Crosstrek. It is
so bright.
It's fantastic. And yeah, I couldn't be happier. So man, it's just so weird how things seem to work out, because in 2019 I was selling cars. So, this is like right before the pandemic. In December, I get a call that pulled me into the company that I'm leaving. And I dodged a huge bullet because I went from selling cars to selling AV equipment, which boomed during the pandemic.
Yep.
Cars fell off the fucking cliff.
Yep.
And like most of the staff got furloughed. So I dodged that bullet. Now the company I've been with has really been struggling this year. And so they're like, yeah, man, sorry, we're gonna have to let you go. And then that leads to this new opportunity that pays even better, and it's like more amazing. I just don't understand the golden horseshoe that I seem to have permanently wedged up my ass, but it's been working out. It's working out
Karma,
good.
baby. It's karma.
That's good.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't get it, but it's been working out. So hopefully we do good at the new job, and life goes on, I guess. So everyone, welcome in. We hope you had a fantastic holiday season. This is episode 144 of your Power Gamer podcast. We are happy to bring you this episode as throngs of you flock to the show. Really excited. So I like talking about this because when you're just sitting there listening to the show, you kind of don't have a scope of the size of the arena that you're in.
Yeah.
Right. So the arena used to be very small. It was more like a janitor closet when me and Johnny first started this.
Yep.
It was really awkward when one of you fuckers would walk in. But now we've gone from the janitor's closet to like a school auditorium. So it's nice to say that hundreds of you join us every week. We're happy that you're all here, but could you please, for the love of fucking God, hit the like button on our YouTube channel? That would be great. You've done such a fantastic job at leaving us nice reviews on Spotify, over on Amazon, over on iTunes. Help us slay this next beast. We would love to get our YouTube channel to the point where it's monetized and we can start doing bigger and cooler things with the show. It'd be really great if you could just take a moment, pop over to our YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the newest video we put up, because you guys have been killing it everywhere else. So give us a little love over there on the YouTubes, even if you primarily are listening to us on audio platforms. It would mean a lot to us. Right. Time to get down to business. Enough of me begging for your support. We're going to start this week's episode on a segment that's probably going to take a minute because it's been 2 weeks. We're going to start off by talking about the games we've been playing. I've been talking for a moment already. I'm going to get mine out of the way real quick because admittedly, when I learned that I was getting laid off from my job, it kind of took the wind out of my sails. I just beaten all those Mario games and it was like, boom, huge life change. I'm like, fuck. I just didn't really feel like playing games. So I played Pokemon Scarlett. Yeah. Pokemon. Me.
Did you catch them all?
I really haven't caught them all. There's so many fucking Pokemon now.
Were you the very best?
Definitely not the very best. I don't live up to the standard set by the amazing theme song. I did, however, learn that the singer of the original theme song is coming to a local game store in a few weeks. And I'm definitely going to go and try and get my man's autograph and listen to him sing the song live. That's going to be cool. But Pokemon Scarlet is fine. It's a Pokemon game. And I played the first one when it came out on my Game Boy back in the day. And other than the graphics getting tremendously better, not a whole hell of a lot's changed. And it's a formula that works, and it's fun, and I like it. And it's a nice casual play to kind of keep your mind off, the impending doom of capitalism. So Pokemon Scarlet's fine. I'm not really going to probably be working on it super hard, but playing it here and there, sure. The big one that I've been playing that's been the most amazing distractor of reality, thanks to a new patch that's finally fixed a lot of the fuckery that was in this long-standing and controversial game that's been in alpha forever, Star Citizen. That's right. We haven't talked about Star Citizen in a long time because, frankly, it's been such a fucking mess. I haven't played it. Now, I would say that if you've been on the fence about checking it out, there literally has not been a better time to dip your toes in and check it out than right now. Servers are pretty stable. Everything's working more or less as it should be. A lot of the new mechanics they brought into the game are working great. It's really fun right now. And Star Citizen is worth a checkout if you've been thinking about it. Yeah, Johnny, I know you've been meaning to check it out forever because you're like one of the original backers. So we should have a Sherpa night where I Sherpa you around.
Yeah, we need to do that.
The infinite learning curve that is this game. But it's like kind of once you get it down and kind of get a hold of what you're going to do when you log in, man, it's fun. It's really good. So Star Citizen, worth a checkout. I don't want to harp on it too much because it's like such a mind-boggling game. I'll probably just be speaking Japanese to people. So if you want to talk to me in depth about Star Citizen, I guess leave a comment or DM me or something like that. I won't get into the nuts and bolts of it here on the show, but having a lot of fun with it. It's working great. Now is a good time to check out the game if you haven't already. I've talked for long enough. Kim, let's hear from you.
Okay. So I finally started Alan Wake 2. And I love it a lot. I had no idea. I'm a big Sherlock fan. I've played all the Sherlock games, and I get very, very invested in the Sherlock games. And I had no idea that Alan Wake 2 was going to have a Mind Palace. And that made me so happy because I love that aspect of it. And I've really been enjoying it. The graphics are absolutely beautiful. Biggest problem I had was that I got soft locked in an area because biggest piece of advice I could give for Alan Wake 2 is if you're going to play it, you have to go to every single cache and you have to try and get into every single one because it put me into a big fight with nothing. They didn't leave batteries around. They didn't leave any health around. They left nothing. And so I was soft locked and had to go back to a save point about an hour before that area. So it was kind of a bummer. I ended up putting it in easy mode because I'm not one to torture myself, especially on stream. Sometimes I'll torture myself off stream, but on stream, I don't want to torture myself. I just kind of want to have a good time. So I ended up going to story mode with it. And I think that aspect is going to be a little bit more enjoyable because I really just want to take in the story because the story of one of the protagonists is really compelling to me. So yeah, I've really been enjoying that a lot.
And you need to brush up on your algebra if you're going to play Alan Wake 2.
Or have Mike there. I'm like, there's math. Mike, are you here? And so Mike shows up and he's like, math. And then I literally sit there with my coffee or with whatever, and we talk, and me and the chat hang out while we wait for Mike to figure out problems. And it's been great.
The puzzles.
And then he explains to me how he did it because I love math, but I haven't done algebra in so long that it like escapes me, you know?
The puzzles in the game are straight up Algebra 1 problems.
They really are.
It's like you kind of have to dig back in your mind and go, wait a second, how do you do this?
Or Google.
Or well, if you want to cheat, yeah, you can Google, but
you can Google.
It's so much more fun solving the math problem.
Yeah. Or saying, Mike, there's math.
Well, I enjoy solving the math problems.
I mean, I do too, but it's hard, especially like I feel that pressure, like when I'm on stream, I like feel that pressure to get it done. And so it's so much easier to like sit there and just chat with everybody and laugh with everybody. And then you explain how you did it. And then it's like, oh yeah. Okay. That makes sense. You know,
trying to do algebra on stream is like if the teacher gave out a problem that, you know, let's say you hadn't studied this formula in, I don't know, 20 years. And then everyone in the classroom turns around and stares at you while you try and figure it out.
That's about right. That's about right. So yeah, Alan Wake 2 has been amazing. Lethal Company I've been playing a lot of. And I don't know if either of you have played it or if any of our listeners have played it, but I cannot recommend Lethal Company enough. It's absolute chaos. And if you're going to play, you have to use the in-game chat because their sound design is some of the best sound design in games I have ever heard in my entire life. And it is far too much fun. I mean, I have so many clips. I have one of my favorite clips. I was staring at a thing called a coil head. You have to look at them. They're like the weeping angels. If you stop looking at them, they move. And my friend was right, like in a hallway with one, and I'm staring at it, but then something came creeping up behind me. So I had to turn around because the door scared me. When I turned back, the coil head was gone, and you heard him down the hallway screaming as he was running away from the coil head. It is honestly, I can't recommend that game enough. And it's such a great price point, and it's really silly, and it's all procedurally generated. So it's like endless ridiculousness.
Yeah, I've kind of gathered the only quote unquote weapon that you get is a shovel that you can bash things with.
Well, you can get a couple of other things. Like there's like a zap gun that stuns them. But shovel is the first thing you can get because they send you in without a lot of money. Like the whole premise behind the game is you're scavengers. You're literally getting scrap. You work for the company and you're getting scrap and selling scrap, and you don't have a lot of money. And if you don't, you have a quota. And if you don't meet that quota, they fire you. And the way they discipline you is they literally shoot you off into space and you die. And then you have to start over again. So you literally start off with like, you have enough money to get like one flashlight, and the buildings are pitch black. So you get one flashlight and a shovel, and it's terrifying. It's a lot of fun.
Actually, one of our listeners bought that game for me. I haven't fired it up yet. Maybe we need to have a Power Gamer podcast Lethal Company night.
Oh yes, I would love to.
I'd get on that. That game's hilarious.
So much fun. It's a good time.
Because you just hear somebody screaming and then silence, and you're like, did they die? Are they dead? And then like you'll run around and you might pick him up again. And we're like, ah! Oh, he's still alive.
It's so good. It is so good.
So some of the monsters respond to the voice.
Yes.
So like if you're talking, they'll come find you. So you have to like actually be cognizant of communicating with other people.
Yes.
It's wild. It really is. And I love it's got those horrible like late 90s PC kind of graphics to it, which just really, really work.
Like Wolfenstein graphics.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good, though. It's so perfect for it.
I haven't brought up Rise of the Triad in a long time. The graphics are very reminiscent of Rise of the Triad.
It's really good. They did a nice job with it, and I commend them for it because it's so inventive, and it's really cool. It's a great game.
Wait, awesome. Are the monsters sprites, Mike?
They're not sprites. No, they are 3D, but they look like shit.
They look like shit, yeah. But like purposely, yeah.
Indeed.
Purposely, yeah. So I played another game called Bug and Seek. I had to cover it for the devs. And if you are looking for a really super chill, like pixel game, I was like, okay, I'll play this for an hour. Generally, when I cover a game for devs, I do like an hour unless I'm obligated to do more. And I ended up playing this damn game for 4 hours. I couldn't stop. It was like so relaxing. And you take over this insectarium and you're trying to figure out who robbed it, before you took it over and where the owner went. And while you're doing that investigation, you're doing quests to find like different bugs for the museum or for the university. And you're finding like different bugs for people around. And and the music is amazing. And it's made by 2 people. I'm pretty sure they're like partners, like they're like a couple. It's made by 2 people. And it's honestly, what a great game. I was very impressed.
It wears its Stardew Valley. Man, I just blanked on the word. It's influence directly on its sleeve. I mean, the game is such a Stardew clone.
Yeah, it's so nice.
But it's definitely different in a lot of good ways. So I would say, if anyone listening, if you like Stardew Valley but kind of burnt out maybe on that particular game and how crazy deep that games go. You just want something a little less complex to play. Bug and Seek would be a good one to go after.
It's so good. It's really, really good. I was very, very. I want to play more of it because I really liked it. And then finally, the game that I have been obsessed with is South Park: The Stick of Truth. That game has no right to be as good as it is. I cannot get enough of it. I love it so much. I literally almost feel guilty for laughing so hard at some of the things, and like just some of the things that like come out of my mouth, because I don't know if any of you know, but one of the what do you call it, that you could be a fighter, a mage, a thief, or a Jew. And
yes.
When the Nazis first came out, I literally went, "Could you imagine if I was a Jew? I'd kill them." Right?
That's right.
It's like the cool. This game is just so good. I mean, and all the little tiny weird things you find, like I put it up on all my socials, but I opened the door and there was this woman like stark naked, and she was like, and closed the door. I'm like, what is happening? The game is the Simon Says. I kept failing the Simon Says because ADHD, and the poor guy was getting probed by an alien, and like, I can't even.
I remember that.
And like, I literally like, I'm like, it's Simon Says, right? I got this, but I would forget to look at my screen, and so Simon Says would go off, and I'd be like, I forgot to look. I don't know what it is. And so I'd like push a button, and all of a sudden it's like, blah, 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 and he's like getting rammed by this probe. And I was like, okay, I got it this time. I got it this time. And then I would forget to watch again. I was like,
this went on for quite a while.
Because, I just forget, it's so just funny. Me. And that game is, I was not expecting to have so much love and so much fun with that game. And then to hear that Fractured But Whole is better?
Yeah.
I was like, how is that possible? So I am honestly head over heels in love with Stick of Truth. I'm having so much fun with it.
I love South Park, and I love South Park's brand of comedy. It's how comedy should be, where like nothing's safe, but nothing's there to hurt anybody. You know what I mean? It's fucking funny, and there's so little of that anymore. It feels like I'm waiting for the next fucking, when was the last big comedy movie?
I don't know. I mean, Always Sunny is still going, and they're still pushing those boundaries, and it's the same kind of thing. Like they do these things that like cross that line, but they're doing it because they're like, in essence, making fun of the people who are like that. And I feel like that's how South Park is. You know what I mean? Like, God, it's just so good. And I don't know the last time there was a movie that pushed the boundaries like that. Like, I'm not really sure.
Comedy as a whole is just like kind of dropped off. So it's always nice when you see something like this and it's like, holy shit, this is fucking funny. Like,
oh my God, it's funny as shit. I literally cannot wait to play more of it. I ended stream today and everybody was like, I had some new people in and they were like, are you going to be on tomorrow? And I was like, no. They're like, when are you going to play it again? I was like, I don't know, because I have like games to cover and like,
right.
But I want to play it so bad. Yeah, I have so many games to cover,
Your time is super scheduled.
I have to, because I'm a lunatic. Like, I remember when I didn't have a schedule, people would literally watch the sun go down and watch the sun come up, and there I am still streaming. Because if I don't schedule myself, I am, I'm just like, let's keep going, And then before you know it, I'm sick as a dog because my fibromyalgia. Like, so I really do have to, schedule myself. And plus I have all the other stuff to do. Ko-fi, I got Pixel Dicks to worry about. And like,
The Ko-fi channel is so amazing.
Well, and now today we discovered something else we're going to be doing with Ko-fi. I'm going to be reading I'm going to be doing readings of erotic dinosaur novels. So
It's called the book she found's called Johnny. It's called Triceratops and Bottoms.
I can't wait.
It's
I
a
can't wait.
real thing. It's a real
Oh my
thing.
I can't wait. So yeah, I'm going to be doing those readings too. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So yeah, I have other stuff I do. So I do have to be very, and plus I have games to cover. And if I forget to cover them, then it's like, you know, that's not good either, you know?
It's your day job. So
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That was a list. Johnny, looks like you got a big list here too.
Yeah, so I beat Spider-Man 2.
Yay.
Did we talk about that on the last one?
Not me beating it. Nope.
No, okay.
Nope. I'd fired it up, but I hadn't beat it yet.
10-4.
Lot of twists and turns in this game.
Yes.
There's a lot to I've read enough Spider-Man comic books, probably over 1,000. So like I saw the tea leaves pretty early on and was like, I think this is gonna happen, and then he's gonna become such, okay. And like I kind of had it figured out pretty good, but it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the ride. The traversal is better than it's ever been. How fast the loading works and how fast you switch between characters is truly a revolutionary breakthrough in fucking video game technology. Kim, you at any point in time can pull up your Spider-Man app and switch between Miles Morales and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And it will literally just zoom across the city instantaneously to the other character. There is no like fade to black. There's no spinning wheel. It just happens.
That's so nice. I love that.
Crazy. But yeah, Mike, I concur with your score. I give it a 9.5. I don't think it surpassed the first Spider-Man game, in my personal opinion. I had a little bit more of an emotional connection with the first Spider-Man game in this trilogy of games. I have loved all three of them, though. I highly recommend all three of them, but I think my favorite is still the first one. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 down, loved it, strong recommend, and this is now the definitely the best superhero trilogy of all time.
What did you think of the changes to MJ's missions, Mary Jane's?
MJ was a fucking badass. She was John Wick in this game.
Because they were a fucking chore in the first one, but this time around,
yeah,
holy shit, they were good.
Yeah, she was kicking ass. Yeah, the MJ missions were fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I noted, I think when I had completed it, that kind of the point where the game started to take off was that first MJ mission. Did you kind of find the same thing when you played it?
Yeah, agreed. Well, if you remember when last time we talked about this, I had said the roller coaster thing was awesome.
That's right.
And then you were like, it's about to fucking blow up. And you were absolutely right. I think it was within the next like 30 minutes, the MJ mission happened. And then it was just completely blasted through the rest of it. I didn't get the platinum trophy like you did. I still have a bunch of the spider bots to go find and a bunch of random bullshit. I don't know if I'm going to take the time.
Oh, Johnny, I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
But do it.
Okay.
Okay, because you in particular.
Okay.
Definitely, it just take a couple hours. That's all it takes.
Okay, fine.
Because when you swing into each zone, just hit the pause menu, and it'll tell you how many you have left to find there.
Yeah.
And it's super simple. And there's a skill in your tree that you can unlock that just shows you where they all are.
Oh, that's what I need. I don't have that.
Yeah. It makes it super simple. It only took me after I beat the game, it took me 2 hours to wrap all the other shit and get the platinum.
Because I mean, I've done all the side quests, all that's done. I've done like all the Sandman shit is done. All the done all that.
There are cutscenes that you in particular will lose your fucking mind over.
Okay, all right. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Just wrap that up. Get that plat. You'll love it.
So Spider-Man 2 done. On to Alan Wake 2. I don't think I'm as far into it as Kim is, but wow, this game, it the Mind Palace thing and the the conspiracy wall where you're like putting your evidence and then connecting the line and then putting the next thing and connecting that line, and like and how fast you get with it. Like, it felt really clunky at first because it's very particular about which button presses you have to do to and where you have to place the thing for it to do the right thing. And but after you've kind of messed with it for a little bit, you start like real quick. You're like, all right, what else do I have? You're in the file cabinet going, oh, this one goes there. Cool. Boom. That's done. All right, cool. Unraveling it. All right, do that. That goes there. Cool. Got it. But I mean, it's an Alan Wake game, which means it's going to be very meta and a lot of crazy shit. And I am just in the middle of that sort of happening. So I'm now in the shoes of Alan Wake, which I think is the beginning of chapter 3, I think. And that's where I'm at. But dude, the graphics are insane.
Beautiful.
It's scary as fuck.
It is really
Like,
scary.
legit. It is actually a scary game. But yeah, no, I'm really impressed with it, and I will continue to say it every time we talk about a Remedy game. Remedy don't fucking miss. They just don't. Remedy don't miss. They always make bangers, and this just seems like another Remedy banger.
Yeah, I was kind of like, before we started the show, discussing with Johnny and Kim, like, I haven't played the first game, and I've kind of been put off from looking at Alan Wake 2 because I really, deep down inside, do not want to fucking play Alan Wake 1. I watched Kim play through most of that game, and I know that I would fucking hate every second of playing that game just from watching her play it. Because it's dated, and I don't feel like it holds up that great.
I don't disagree.
So I kind of got the gist of what's going on and everything, and the end of the game, and I'm like, you know what? I think that's probably enough that I can jump in. And I watched you play almost all of Control.
That's true. And in my opinion, I'll be very honest with you. I almost feel like if somebody were to say to me, do I need to play Alan Wake 1 to play Alan Wake 2? I would say, maybe just get caught up on a little bit. But I firmly believe that you actually get more from playing Control before Alan Wake 2, because you get to meet Ati, who is my heart and soul, and you get to understand the FBC. And so everything from Control, especially playing the DLC, the AWE DLC, really ties into Alan Wake 2. So I would probably tell people no. I mean, plus Control, the gameplay in Control is phenomenal. The gameplay in Control is absolutely just amazing. And so you're not losing anything from it. You're just gaining from playing a really amazing game. And it doesn't take long. It just takes me forever because, hello, it's me. I stream and I talk to everybody and I'm like, let me pause the game and have a full conversation. So like, but yeah, I definitely Control is it helped me to really appreciate a lot more of Alan Wake 2.
So one of the choices that I'm going to have to make here, and I've got some pause from concern after this past week, is, I've kind of been embracing my PC life a little bit more. I've got a really disgustingly powerful rig for a gaming computer.
Yeah.
But I also have a PS5 and I love to play there. And I know the console handles the game well. So I kind of wanted to throw this ball to you guys here. And we can get a little nerdy here. And Johnny, sure, we'll get back to your games here in a second. Yeah, no, but I did want to stop on this because this is kind of a big game. It's been landing some Game of the Year awards, etc. So here I am. I'm like, well, is getting it for PC a no-brainer, or should I just get it for my PS5 where there's some lighting stuff, but overall I've heard it's a kind of more stable experience. I'm running a 7700 AMD front end with a 3080 back end. So pretty solid computer. Kim, yours is more solid than mine. And I mean, you've had some performance issues with this game, right?
I needed a graphics card update.
Okay.
Yep. That was my performance issue, was that I didn't update my graphics card.
Johnny, anything on your end playing this game? Because I know that you're playing on a PC.
Yes, my only thing I've learned is that the 3080 is not enough for ray tracing at the frame rate that I want to play it at. But that being said, ray tracing off, I can basically crank almost everything else up, and it is very fast, beyond 60 frames a second. For me, the choice for when, if Mike says, should I buy it on console or PC? For me, it's going to depend on the developer. I think Remedy is someone who respects the PC community. So I would say, since you have a monster PC, buy it on PC. If it's something like a Capcom title, a fucking, whatever, a Square Enix title, you're probably going to get the same product regardless. But Remedy is known for not only having high-end PC releases, but keeping them up to date, consistently adding to them and tweaking them and like that. And this will be a game that, 5 years from now, when you buy a 5080 and you're like, yeah, let me do a replay of Alan Wake 2, you'll be able to turn all the settings all the way up and it'll look even better. So yeah, I would recommend PC for that.
Yeah, because I've kind of heard that this game is like the current, it's the current benchmark for 4090s.
Yeah, this is the PC melter for sure. But that being said, I mean, again, as soon as I turned ray tracing off, I'm getting 70, 80, 90, 100 frames.
I don't give a shit about ray tracing, so
right.
I'd probably be content. Okay, so PC it is, and it is one of those ones that's only available on Epic. Yeah, son of a bitch.
You get that coupon before the year's up. I think it's still going.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I got Alan Wake for $27.
Yeah, you scoop it for like $30. It's stupid.
Well, I stole your mic, Johnny. Here, you can have it back.
No, you're good.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. And then lastly, as I mentioned before, I knew it was going to be under the Christmas tree because my oldest wanted it. I've also gotten my hands on Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. I'm a little miffed by the review scores that I'm seeing on this game. For the most part, a lot of the scores that I've seen out there are like very mediocre, like 7s and such. So far, this feels up to par with all of the other good Far Cry games. Like I'm immersed in the story. I'm stunned by how beautiful the world is. Everything mechanically works great. The bows feel really good. And one of the things that they nailed is what it would feel like to be a Na'vi, right? And if you remember the Avatar movies, the Na'vi are like 8, 9, 10 feet tall. They're big, tall people. So the first time you're in your first person mode and you're looking around and you're standing next to a human, they look like a hobbit. I mean, you like look down and are like, oh, that's right, I'm really tall.
It's like when everybody looks at me.
But it's really cool. You have to crouch to get through human doorways. Like you got to sneak around when you're in human areas. And then as soon as you go to the forest area and you can really jump, you can jump 10 feet up in the air and you start climbing vines and climbing mountains and jumping off of waterfalls. And dude, I could play this game for 20 hours with no story. And it was just me in a jungle exploring and finding animals to hunt and things to forage and pick. The game is gorgeous. So far, the story is great. I mean, this feels like it's going to be an 8.5 all day, which is kind of around where I've put most of the Far Cry games. And I love Far Cry. So if anybody listening, if you're a big fan of Far Cry games and you get lost in that big open world, all right, what animals do I have to hunt to make a better ammo pouch type gameplay? This is exactly that. This is a Far Cry game. They should have called it Far Cry Avatar, because that is what it is. It is a Far Cry game through and through.
It is it's quite a looker too. Like the environmental effects in this game, especially how they deploy wind. I know that sounds fucking super gamer man, but it's they really do wind well, and wind on grass.
Yeah, no, the foliage in the game is crazy. Well, then the other thing that's cool is a lot of games have a button you can press or something where it'll highlight things of use or things that are important. In this, you have like Navi sense, so you hold R1 and a circle comes up in the middle of the screen, and anything that could potentially be important will be highlighted. If it's an animal that can be hunted that's on the other side of the hill, you'll see through the hill and see him. If it's a fruit you can pick, it'll highlight it. If there's a trail for an animal that you can hunt, it'll highlight. If there's a mech battle that you can go get into, it's just awesome. You can just get lost in it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I have a copy for PS5. I haven't cracked the plastic one yet, so
It runs great on PS5. I'm really happy with it.
I need to stop playing Star Citizen and crack the plastic on that, I guess.
Sea of Stars. You got to play Sea of Stars, bro. Got to do it.
It'll happen.
I know. I'm just going to keep pushing you until it does. That's all.
That's fine. At least you're not hounding me on Baldur's Gate 3. Which I've actually like
I do think you should play Baldur's Gate 3.
Completely off track is like, so I learned in my debacle with Divinity, which I just think I'm just never going back to that game after this last debacle. I'm done.
The company you were associated with and that experience,
dude. It's been nothing but problems for like 2 years, so I think I'm just good on that.
Yeah,
but I have watched a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 because a few of my friends have that game, and like it's wildly fucking different from Divinity in all the right ways. Like it reminds me so much more of that old BioWare formula that I like.
100%.
And yeah, I'm down with that because like I like the original Baldur's Gate games a lot. Which was the last time I ever sat down and played a CRPG and had a good time. So yeah, I think I might check it out. You don't have to do the the big sales pitch here. I just kind of want to
I was gonna say it's funny that you mentioned Baldur's Gate 3 because my holiday bonus hit and the first thing I did is went and bought Baldur's Gate 3 on the PS5. Because the biggest hurdle for me and my wife to play this game is every time we're going to play it, I have to fire up the Steam link and connect the computer to the TV and then make sure the controllers are synced up. And it's a pain in the ass. Yeah. But it supports cross save. So I can just log into my account and my wife and I, wherever we were in our game, will be there. And so, yeah, so we're going to play it on the PS5.
And Cam, I think you and I will agree on my outlook on this. I refuse to play this game with anybody else. Like, I'm going to play this game solo. And the reason why is because A, I got super annoyed during my Divinity playthrough, but B, I cannot have someone else handcuffed to me on 100+ hour long fucking game. That would drive me insane.
So I'm okay with the aspect of having somebody handcuffed with me because I have a pretty amazing group of friends who make themselves available to play when I want to play, especially if I'm streaming. My issue is, and it's the same thing with multiplayer deck building games like Sentinels of the Multiverse. If I'm playing with somebody who is taking a very long time to make decisions, my attention just goes, I'm like, butterfly. Like I am in a whole different universe and I start getting a little bit antsy because I'm like, let's go do something. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a really, really big struggle for me when it comes to gaming with other people. It's very, very hard for me if there's someone who is taking an extraordinarily long time.
Yeah.
Like if I get to the point where I feel like I need to go, hey, it's your turn. It's like too much for me because at the same time, I'm like, you have that streamer worry of keeping everybody entertained. And I also want to figure out what's going on with the story, but then I'm losing attention because this person's taking so long. And so I already forgot what the story's about. And so that's my biggest problem. And I know that's a me problem. I totally understand that because
I don't think so. Like, 'cause
you don't think so?
When I watch this game, I'm like, I need to pay super close attention to what's happening. And the other side of it too, and I hate this for anyone that streams it, like this drives me fucking insane, is I know it's cool, right, that they have the whole vote on what I do in this interaction thing,
Yeah.
but fuck that. You know, that sucks because it's not a I feel like the whole point of those kind of games is like doing what you want to do or what you think is cool. You know, imagine being in a D&D session, right? And you're at the table with the other players, but behind you is 30 people deciding what you do the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you even there?
Yeah,
Well-
I mean, you don't have to turn that on. Like, it was broken for me. I was
Yeah.
gonna do it at first, and it was broken, and so I just ended up like never even using it. The few times that I did stream it, and don't get me wrong, we had some really funny moments. I
God,
got
I
some
don't even remember you
amazing-
streaming that.
Oh my God, I got some of the funniest clips out of that because it was me, Pike, Kerbo, and Gravy. And Kerbo is absolutely hysterical. And so we got some amazing clips and it was a lot of fun, but it's a little bit, that's definitely a game that I feel like I need to, and everybody has told me it's better either solo or with only one other person that
Yeah.
you like really vibe with.
Yeah.
And so I definitely, especially streaming, I don't think it's a game for me to stream.
Right. So I mean, so I played Divinity Original Sin 2 on the TV, and my wife and I did couch co-op split screen, and it's great. It works really well, and that's how we're gonna do Baldur's Gate 3. It just because you have that freedom. You can just go, like, they can be in another fucking town and it just works. So that's, split screen works really well in that game.
Unless you're on a Series S. Just
Unless
disclaimer.
you're on a Series S.
Does not have that couch co-op feature, but all the rest is still there for the little guy. The little cute.
He's just a little guy.
He's just a little guy trying to play a big game.
He's gonna play a big boy game, isn't he?
All right. Let's move on. It's almost the end of 2023. So 2024 is right around the corner. We, honest to God, we don't know a whole hell of a lot about 2024. Sitting here looking ahead, we know of a lot of stuff that's probably coming out this year, but very few do we have hard dates for. There's a good amount, but yeah, there's a lot that's kind of still up in the air. That being said, I do want to look forward to 2024 a little bit and let each of us talk about some of the games that are upcoming. Doesn't have to be in great detail, but just about some of the games that are upcoming that we are excited about as we wrap up this week's episode. So, gosh, Kim, let's start with you. You've got a chunky list here. Let's
very
dive.
excited.
Yeah, let's dive into yours here real quick.
All right, I won't spend too much time. I won't spend too much time, but so I have it like kind of in date order. So the first one that's being released this upcoming year is Prince of Persia, and I am so excited for Prince of Persia. When I saw the trailer for it and I saw the gameplay, I was so excited. And then I saw like all the pushback and people are like, "Oh, it's a side scroller." And it's like, "Yeah, but that's what Prince of Persia used to be."
That's how it started.
I am so excited for that game. It's
Same.
developed and published by Ubisoft.
Well, it's the team that's developing this game is Ubisoft Montpellier.
Yes.
Ubisoft Montpellier does the fucking Rayman games, aka they're one of the goddamn kings of side scrollers. So
Yeah,
this
they're pretty
this
amazing.
ain't some random team making a side scroller. These motherfuckers know what they're doing with side scroller. This was
Yeah.
on my list too.
Yeah.
I
So I am
pumped
like,
for this.
I am so excited for this game. And so especially as like an Ubisoft creator, I'm like, I love repping an amazing game put out by an amazing company. So I'm super pumped for that.
Yeah, they did that weird 3D reboot of it some years ago. And
The cell shaded one.
Yeah, it just didn't work. But they did do
I liked that game.
on Xbox 360 in the old days of the Xbox 360 arcade, they had like a remaster of the original Prince of Persia, the side scroller.
Yep.
And that shit was amazing. I still have it.
Yeah.
And what's really cool with old school Prince of Persia, and sorry if I'm rambling, is that it was like the first game that really properly introduced the concept of momentum, and that your character doesn't just stop when you stop inputting the command, that he needs time to slow down or you'll just go running off a ledge. And so I'm really hopeful that this Prince of Persia leans into some of those old things that the game pioneered, honestly, that feel really good once you get the hang of it.
Climbing up on ledges and climbing down on ledges and shit. I mean, all that became commonplace with games like Flashback and stuff, but like Prince of Persia was kind of the first for a lot of that stuff.
It was, yeah.
I'm very, very excited. Another game I'm excited for, but I feel like it's going to be really bad, but I'm still really excited because I am such a Gojo fangirl. So Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash is coming out, and I think it's going to be really bad because animes that they turn into fighting games are just never great. So I'm excited.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has a great fighting series.
I've never played it. But I'm a big JJK fan, and I literally, my desktop is Gojo. I have a Gojo plushie. I have a Gojo figurine. I have a hand-drawn Gojo print. Like, I am a Gojo geek. So I'm very excited for that. That comes out February 2nd. And I'm very excited for it, but I feel like it's going to be really bad, but I really hope not.
I had to save you from the ultra weebs. Because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is a really... I guess you'd have to be our age to fully appreciate that series, but it has a great long-running fighting game series behind it. Kind of cool.
Yeah, I've never played the fighting game behind it, but
you might dig it.
Maybe, yeah. Next one is one that I am so excited for. I got to participate in the closed beta of Skull and Bones. As a matter of fact, during one of my Skull and Bones streams, Ubisoft raided me.
And it completely broke your stream, yeah.
They raided me, and it was one of the coolest experiences because the community was amazing. Like, they just showered me with, like, everything. It was absolutely phenomenal. So I'm very, very excited for that game because it's really beautiful, and I know it's getting a lot of shit. Like, people are like, 10 years to come out with, Black Flag. And it's like, I mean, I don't care. It was in dev hell. So be it, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. And the graphics are beautiful and the storyline is cool. And I love the idea of being able to be a merchant and there's like a whole economic system and being able to buy in one place and sell in another, and then hiring my friends to be like my bodyguards as we're going from place to place. I don't know. It's like I think it's going to be a really cool experience. So I'm very, and that comes out February 16th, and I am so excited. So excited.
It legit looks fun. It does.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah. The crowd of people that are like, it's a mod of AC4. They're not wrong, really. It really is the Assassin's Creed naval combat formula, like, to a fucking T. I'm shocked it didn't get canceled, honestly. So it's nice to see that it's actually coming out. And I think after the beta was received incredibly positively. So I think it has a chance to actually do good and defy the odds here. So
I really hope so. I do. We'll I really, really hope so.
Yeah, it looked good. It passed the eyeball test for me for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Another one I'm excited for, early access on February 22nd. I've done a couple of their closed betas. Nightingale is a sandbox survival game, but it's like steampunk and like it's
very tough to describe. Yeah.
It's so tough to describe, but man, I played the betas and it was really beautiful and really fun. And it was really well optimized. So yeah,
I'm very excited for that. What is it? A card system for procedurally generating the next dimension that you step into?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So to get from one dimension to the next, you need to get the card to put into a machine to open a portal to get to another dimension. And man, what a cool system. And and it's pretty, and the building was really nice. Like there are some survival games where you start to build and you're like, oh no, 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 I can't do this. But the building was like super smooth and the combat was a lot of fun. And yeah, I think that's gonna be a really good one. I think it's gonna be a good survival game.
I feel like we talked about this on the show, and Kim, this is way before your time with us. Johnny, last year's Game Awards, they did a big gameplay reveal of this. So if anybody really wants to dig back in our fucking backlog, go back a year, and you can find that. But probably just go watch a video of it because it is tough to explain, but it is a very cool looking game.
Yeah, and I love sandbox survival games, so I'm excited for that one. This past week has made me very excited for the new South Park game, Snow Day, and apparently it's multiplayer. So that's coming out March 26th.
Awesome.
And I think that's going to be utter chaos, which is amazing. I am all for utter chaos. I can unleash my inner gremlin. It's really great.
I feel like the last like 3D South Park game, because a lot of people are like, why is it 3D? That looks so weird. Okay, it's hilarious, but this isn't the first 3D South Park game.
Yeah.
In 64, South Park Snowball Fight, get wrecked, son. Get wrecked. You could pee on the snowballs and they'd turn yellow. So fucking good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And then the final two have no dates. I am very excited for Hades 2. Because Hades is a masterpiece that I still haven't beaten, by the way, but it's an absolute masterpiece. The soundtrack is phenomenal. The gameplay is amazing. Just everything about Hades is absolutely stunning. And Hades 2 is due in 2024.
Johnny beat the fucking brakes off Hades.
I've beat that final boss in Hades probably 30 times.
I got to tell you a funny story about Hades. So, one of the amazing things about Hades is you kind of don't get punished for dying because you die and you get to learn more, right? Yep. You learn more of the story, you get more dialogue, you can romance people, blah, 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 blah. My son beat Hades he told me he beat Hades and I was like, what'd you think of the story? Like, don't give me any spoilers, but what'd you think? And he goes, I didn't get any of it because he beat it in one run.
His first run?
He beat it in one run and he broke the game because he didn't get anything. He didn't get to experience. He's like, I wish I didn't. He's like, I approached it like any other, roguelite and just beat the pants off of it. But it kind of like ruined the experience for him.
Something I'm not sure if you're aware of, Kim, but the story keeps going after you beat it. There are reasons to continually beat it.
Yes.
It's not just you beat it and it goes, okay, cool, you're all done. Like, no, you beat it, the story keeps going.
That's kind of like where
beating it.
That's kind of like where it begins. Once you beat it.
Yeah, well, he didn't get to experience a lot of the really cool stuff that you experience along the way. And it kind of bummed him out. And I'm like, well, stop being good. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Suck at games like me, and then you'll get to experience more of the story.
Yeah, I played like 5 hours of it, and I'm just like, it is fantastic, but it's totally like Mike Kryptonite in terms of what it is as a game. I can recognize its greatness, but I will say, how big are their balls that they made a sequel to this game? Holy shit. I mean, you've got to surpass this somehow.
Yeah.
Is that even possible?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to do great.
If they
because
do, the thing is, Game of the Year winners.
The thing is, I don't even think they have to surpass it. I think they just have to come out with something as amazing as Hades. I don't think they have to surpass it because Hades was absolutely phenomenal and people would love to play a new game revolving around new things.
I don't know that they can.
Well, I think they are trying to push the bar forward with this.
I would think they're trying to, yeah, but I don't think they're gonna have to I don't think they would have to. Hades, I feel like Hades was just that good that if they come out with a Hades 2 that revolves around other aspects, I think people would love it just as much. I do.
The main thing I'm curious about, and kind of what made the first Hades so special, I probably watched. Johnny, I probably watched you beat that boss all 30 fucking times. So I'm kind of curious, like, what do they have in their bag to surpass? I don't want to spoil the shit out of this for anyone listening or
Right.
even you, Kim, but like some of the stuff they do after that first completion
Yeah.
is mind-bendingly awesome.
So good. Yeah.
And it's like, I know that they're going to push for that, but I'm also curious, like, does anyone there have the mind space to think of the idea that's just going to take that to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, you can only pull the rabbit out of the hat once. So how do you keep pulling the rabbit out of the hat and have it be impressive?
We've seen it before. I mean, there's other games that have pulled it off, but
Yep.
what one that I'm going to talk about here in a second is one that I would say successfully did that. So,
and then my final game is Wolf Among Us 2.
On my list as well.
I literally was so upset when Telltale crumbled.
Same.
Because I love the Telltale games so much. Every single one of their games has hit me right in the feels, except for Back to the Future. That game made me want to smash my face into the keyboard.
That game does suck. Yeah, that was not good.
Oh, the moon logic in that game killed me. I am not good at moon logic. But the rest of their games have always been spot on, amazing, fantastic. And Wolf Among Us especially, wow, that was a heavy game.
I think it's their best. I think it's their best title.
Yeah, I agree. And so
it's
when
not even
they
really close.
It's just so good. And so when they finally came out and they were like, guess what? We're doing Wolf Among Us 2. I was like, if there was any title you can pick that would make me happy, that's the one. That I'm so, because it just kind of like left us hanging. And so I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait. I haven't played Expanse though, the Telltale Expanse game yet though. But I also haven't seen the series.
Either.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't play that one.
And I've binged that TV series.
I need to watch that series because what's his name is in it? Ermin Trout from Breaking Bad is in it. Jonathan, whatever, I can't remember, but he's in it, and I love him. So I really need to watch it and then play the game. But yeah, so there you go. That's my gigantic list, and I even left some stuff off because I saw like you have Star Wars Outlaws, you have hell, you know. So like I was like, let me this is my list, and then I'll, you know.
It's all here, I think.
Yeah.
At least for the ones we know. I mean, nobody put this down. I kind of left it off to kind of leave a low-hanging fruit. So I'll just ad nauseum here mention Hellblade 2. I mean,
it's on my list.
It's on Johnny's list.
Is it on there?
It's taking my game.
Hey, there it is.
Damn it.
Well, Johnny, let's bounce to you. Let's talk about Hellblade 2. Just rechange your order here, because I think that this is the game now that Xbox has circled of holy shit, please save our ever dwindling console sales.
Yeah.
But 2, it's just kind of an interesting everything, because like the original was a PlayStation exclusive, like for its first 8 months out.
Yeah.
Now we have Hellblade 2, which is just straight exclusive to the Xbox. But everything we've seen of it is fantastic and pointing to that it coming out this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first Hellblade game is, I feel like, most of us PC gamers, we scooped it on a Steam sale for $5 or $10 and went, oh, we'll check out this Hellblade game. And then 3 days later, we're like, oh my God, that was one of the greatest video games I've ever played. I mean, Hellblade is a motherfucker of a game. Like, it is very, very good. And
when you have people, I personally know people who said, I love the aspect, I love the visuals, I love the sound. I couldn't do it because it affected me too deeply.
I believe that's
a heavy game. That game was heavy.
It's a very heavy game.
So good.
It's a very heavy game. And I mean, one of the really interesting things that they pulled off with the first one is, the whole time you hear these voices in her head, and like when you play this game, please put headphones on. But you hear all these voices in your head, and the whole time there's voices that are supporting you, and there's voices that are doubting you, and there's voices that are, trying to get you in trouble, and voices that are trying to save you. And this continues through the whole story. And then about maybe like at 95%.
Don't give any spoilers.
there's a moment where the voices stop. And you'd think that would be comforting, but you get so used to the voices that when they finally shut up, it almost fucks you up more than having to hear them the whole time.
It's very lonely.
You get used to them, and it's a very weird effect that game had on me. And this game, every single second we've seen of trailers, gameplay, everything, it looks like they're just gonna leapfrog right over the first one. So I mean, dude, I think this is at the top of my list. Maybe second. No, I think it's at the top of my list. This is probably my most anticipated of the year. It looks fantastic.
It's about my number 2.
Go ahead and do you want me to just finish out the rest of my list real quick?
Yeah,
or do you
go
want to
for
hop
it,
to
man.
yours? Cool. We've already talked about this one at length, but Dragon's Dogma 2 came completely out of left field. Game I'd never played before. Saw the trailer and was like, yep, playing that. Definitely playing that the day it comes out. So that's a day one purchase for me. It looks fantastic. Prince of Persia Lost Crown, we already talked about a little bit. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I really, really liked the remake. And I'm intrigued by Rebirth because they're taking the story in a completely different direction than what the original Final Fantasy VII really was. So this is a risk that they're taking here because this is one of the most beloved games. And everything we've seen from this Rebirth seems to be a pretty big curveball from the original game. But I loved Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I can't wait to play the whole trilogy. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I'm all in. Sign me up. And last on my list, probably my second most anticipated, even though, no, I'm sorry, Star Wars Outlaws is my most anticipated, but I'll leave that for Mike. Very high on my list, even though we've not seen a single moment of gameplay. Tales of the Shire. That is being developed by Weta Workshop. The people who created everything that we think of in our heads when we think of Lord of the Rings comes from Weta Workshop, okay? Weta designed the fucking towers. Weta designed the goblins and the orcs, and Weta has done all of that. Weta has also never made a video game, but they have given us like about a 10-second teaser with very hobbity music and very hobbity vibes, and the title Tales of the Shire. I think this is going to be a very relaxing sort of tend to your garden, go to the tavern with your friends, go try to steal Farmer Maggot's crops. I think it's going to be a fun, like just chill sort of outdoorsy thing. Again, they haven't even shown me a frame of this game. I don't know if it's going to be 16-bit graphic style or if it's going to be photorealistic. I don't give a fuck. I'm such a huge Lord of the Rings fan that when I heard Weta Workshops is making a Hobbit game, yes, please take my money. I'm in. It's one of my
I haven't even heard of this until
Weta Workshop
tonight.
is developing a video game titled Tales of the Shire.
I'm very excited because Weta Workshop has done, they're so varied in their movies. Like so varied. Like we're talking
Planet of the Apes.
We're talking like the Hobbit movies.
Yep.
iRobot and
Yep.
30 Days of Night, which is like one of my favorite vampire movies. So it's really interesting to me that they're coming out with a game.
Yeah, no, I mean this would be like if Industrial Light and Magic announced that they were going to develop a Star Wars game about Ewoks. You'd be like,
I also didn't know they did Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that's the thing. Like Weta was built from the ground up with Peter Jackson at the helm in order to make the Lord of the Rings movies happen. So they're based out of New Zealand, and they existed because of the Lord of the Rings movies. But now they've become one of the top special effects companies out there, like period. They're up there with Industrial Light and Magic. So now they're making a video game, and I'm just excited to play a fucking Hobbit game because Hobbits are dope.
It's supposed to be a cozy
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings experience. So
I know, right? Sounds
sounds
awesome.
nice.
I
Yeah.
know. Sign me up. I'm in.
Yeah. All right. I guess that leaves me. Star Wars Outlaws is coming this year, and every single trailer I've I've seen of this game, every piece of gameplay I've seen of this game says Star Wars universe, no fucking puppet master, Emperor Poopatine
Yep.
floating around doing weird shit while Kylo Ren makes out with his sister and who knows what the fuck else. It's just Star Wars, it's mercenaries, and it looks like if Red Dead Redemption and the good pieces of Star Wars had a baby. Very excited for Star Wars Outlaws. Very excited for it.
So excited for that. I'm so excited. The same devs are the devs for that are the ones who did Avatar, by the way.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be a complete grand slam. And you know, I'm Mr. Poo-poo on Star Wars.
You really are, yep.
But it's because I have such a deep, long-standing love and respect for that series and just hate what I've seen happen to it over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
But this looks like what I want. This absolutely looks like what this is the childhood dream, man. You know, playing Shadows of the Empire on my N64. I read that whole gigantic piece of shit book when I was in middle school.
Me too.
That book sucks.
It really does. It really does.
But I was so like thirsty for a mercenary story in Star Wars that like it scratched the itch just enough. This looks profound. Can't wait for Star Wars Outlaws.
And you know, with us being long-standing Star Wars nerds, I mean, we've always wanted something more from the scum and villainy. The scum and villainy is what makes fucking Star Wars cool, right? It's Jabba's palace. It's the seedy people at the cantinas. That is what makes Star Wars fucking cool. And when they announced they were going to do a Boba Fett series, we were all fucking pumped because we're like, yeah, scum and villainy. And it's like, no, it's going to be a flashback of the fucking sand people for like 2/3 of the series. So, but no, this trailer, this is what we want. Like,
I do a great imitation of the sand people. One day I'll do it for you guys.
Like right now?
I mean, I could do it right now if you want to.
Please do.
To.
Come on, you can't set us up like that and not deliver.
Here it goes.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah. They'll be back and in greater numbers.
Oh, it's so awesome. Good. I like how you had to prepare your entire body to make that noise.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for this game. And I like it's I was debating on I have a month of Ubisoft Plus like on hold, right? For free. And I was gonna use it for Avatar because my buddy RTM and I were gonna play Avatar together. And we didn't get it from Ubisoft. They were very picky on who they gave access to. And so the same devs are for Outlaws. And so I'm like, oh no, I probably won't get access. So I'm saving that for Star Wars Outlaws. And then if I play it and really love it, I'm just gonna buy it.
Yeah, I can't wait for that game. It looks just right for me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next on my list, I don't know how many people are hot on this upcoming release, but Pacific Drive is one. From the moment I've seen it, I have been sweating this game. It's coming out in February, and
it's on my wish list.
Man, it looks perfect.
Yeah.
It looks like a perfect game. Very spooky kind of setting. You're in a car, rummaging around. If you haven't seen a trailer for this game, check it out. But that's 100% coming out this February. So Pacific Drive, very excited for that. It looks like a total Mike game. Can't wait to play that. And then you may have heard that the greatest video game ever fucking made is getting its proper remaster, where they're adding more stuff to a game that is already absolute perfection. And the stuff they're adding looks incredible. That's right. The Last of Us Part 2 is getting its remaster. About damn time. Like, I thought this would have come right on the heels of the PS5 release. Like, the first Last of Us game got its remaster, a year after when the PS4 came out. They've been making me wait, guys. They've been making me wait, and I am so excited to hop back in and play Last of Us Part 2 on the PS5 and check out all of this new content, the lost missions. I mean, this game is so goddamn good. I'm ready to play it the way that it's meant to be played. Because the one thing that annoys me with The Last of Us is that they've been following this trend for the past 2 games of, we're going to release this right at the end of the console's life cycle. And it's like, okay, yep, you did that the first time. Oh, we're doing it again. Okay, we did it again. Man, it really looks great for a PS4 game. Holy shit, it looks better than a lot of PS5 games. But it's like, how many goddamn fucking times are you going to release these games? They've released Last of Us games more than there are fucking Uncharted games. And there's only 2 of them.
I know. You're not kidding.
It's fucking obnoxious. That being said, I'm part of the problem. Because anytime
you are part of the problem.
Anytime they put out something Last of Us related, it's not my fault, guys. It's the best video game ever made ever. And it's not even close. So of course I have to buy this. Of course I'm pumped. It hasn't even hit me that it's 21 days away. I'm going to be going back in to one of the darkest, most brutal, unfun things ever. And loving every second of it. So I cannot wait.
It's going to send me into a crying fit all over again. I'm so sure of it. I think when it comes out, we should put a poll in the YouTube community section, Team Ellie or Team Abby.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they're both so viable. You know, what's funny is, and a lot of people I think are aware, I love stealth. Like when a game says, you have the option to be unseen, I'm all over it. And this was actually a big talking point when the game came out between me and Johnny is, I thrive with stealth mechanics and I'm just all about it. And no one ever fucking sees me. I am an agent of goddamn death and destruction when you give me stealth mechanics. And so I breezed through Last of Us Part 2, particularly in all the Ellie sections, because she is phenomenal with stealth.
Hated it.
And this is what you and Johnny have in common. So, like, there's this strong divide in The Last of Us Part 2 where, you know, you have this very heavy stealth component of the game that lasts for, like, half the game.
Forever.
But then I fucking love Abby. You know what I mean? I love Abby. And as the story unfolds and you learn the whole picture and you have that mind-blowing paradigm shift, it's like, yeah, it's really tough. I'd have to go with Abby though, even though I prefer the stealth fuckery of Ellie. Abby's my dude. Gotta go.
I think one of my quotes while I was playing Last of Us 2 was, "This stealth sucks." I'm almost positive that was verbatim for what I said. I couldn't stand it. I felt like Ellie had cinder blocks on her feet, and I literally could not stand doing the stealth in that game because I think it's also because I really kind of, I don't know, I kind of like the combat in the game. And so to then like make me have to do stealth, otherwise I'm going to die, and Ellie was so fragile. She was like this fragile golem, right? And it's like, no, she's Ellie. Like, let me use her to fight. What are you doing? I don't want to sneak around. I want to fight. And so it was so fun. And you kept telling me when I was complaining about the stealth, you were like, just wait. You're going to love Abby. You're going to love Abby. And I got to Abby and I was like, it was like this hulking beast. And I literally just wanted to fight everybody to take out my angst from having to be stealthy, because I did not like. It would have been different if there was a little bit of stealth in the first one. You know, there was some stealth, and I felt like it was just enough. And so to have it be so stealth heavy, and don't get me wrong, I am very much a stealth player in other games. Ghost of Tsushima, I was truly
I was the
felt
exact opposite, bro.
I felt bad because Uncle is like, you have no honor. And I'm like, yeah, but sneaky. Like, it was so fun.
Oh, yes,
like
I was
hiding and being like, hallucinate, blow each other up. It was so fun to do all that stupid shit and jump off of roofs and, you know. And so Ghost of Tsushima, I loved the stealth, but don't get me wrong. Then there were other times where I was like, I'd walk up and I'd be like, fight me. And because that was so amazing, you know? But I felt like,
dude, I walked up to every single village and just said, here I am, motherfuckers, who wants some? I mean, every I didn't stealth shit in that game. I just went and kicked everyone's ass at the front gate. Just showed up.
Oh
and went,
no, I definitely
am.
I did a nice mix of both because the combat in Ghost of Tsushima, I don't think I'll ever find a game with more perfect combat than Ghost of Tsushima. But I felt like Last of Us 2, it was too heavy on the stealth. I felt like, because you know what it was? Because there was no option. Yeah. There were some missions where you literally had to be stealthy because there's no way out of it, because it was just too much and you're too fragile and you're too slow. And, you know, and so they forced my hand into being stealthy with this badass bitch who was able to take down so many people, and she hunts on the daily, and then I have to be all like careful and fragile, you know. That's what I didn't like about it. But
that's what makes her lethal, man. I would clear every single fight with Ellie without a single detection.
My enjoyment level of Last of Us Part 2 versus Part 1 is probably 60% of the first one.
See, now Last of Us 2,
it's literally like the first one is here, Part 2 is here. I still really like it. It's still really good, but it does not hold a candle to the first one, in my opinion. Between the characters,
see, now I liked
the story
Last of Us 2
decisions that
more.
were made and the gameplay loop you're talking about with the stealth and stuff. I butted heads with it a little bit. I'm not a hater of the game. I still think Part 2 is great, but I did not enjoy it nearly as much as the first one, personally.
Yeah, I liked Part 2 more in terms of, I think, almost everything. But the stealth made me really dislike that aspect of it. But the rest of the game, I
can't wait. I can't wait to get back to sneaking around the shadows and ripping people's throats out with my bow and arrow. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so glorious. So, man, we have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
But I think it's about time for us to ramp this week's episode up. It's been so nice getting back with you guys after our break. Any closing thoughts or anything left on the table we need to hit? If not, maybe just remind people where they can find you all during the week.
Smash that like button, hit that heart, hit us with the 5-star review.
Smash it.
Share us with a buddy. Spread the word, spread the gospel that is the Power Gamer podcast. That's my closing thoughts.
Please do it. Honestly, we would appreciate that so much. Other than that, you can, we say it all the time. You can find me on Twitch at Mickey Ran. But
it's a great time.
I have fun. I love it. And you could also find me on Ko-fi playing with Pixel Dicks. Yes. And reading dinosaur smut.
Triceratops and bottoms.
Wet hot Allosaurus summer, baby. But
yeah,
no, please hit that like button and leave some comments and give us, shower us with affirmation.
That's right.
Well, we will be back again next week with another great episode of the Power Gamer podcast for you to enjoy. Until that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
I'm Johnny Paulus.
And I am Kim, distracted by Pixel Boobies Ponticello.
Tune in next time. Take care.
Catch y'all on the flip-flop.
Ooh, yeah.